Welcome to Hong Kong, where Hachai Cilia is on pole from Leandro Zaccagnoli and Star. Andre Nesbesny is fourth from Thomas Holtz and Gabriela Barton. Tam Mandalay, last time out race winner, starts seventh from Takamichi Moto and Verstappen. Then it's Eddie Hart, Casanova Cornwell and Moses Lima. Chaos Andalay starts 13th from Sri Harishwar and Radius Curlis. Then it's Silky, Spiker, the championship leader in the 24-11 and 13. Then it's Nick Haymaker, Ben Allen Lee, Cosmas Felicis, Zaka Hedenko, Wanda Lolobos, Vasti Tan, and William Brumez. A redesigned Hong Kong with a female driver on pole? It can only be the ERL FG Series, whose fourth round is about to get underway. And we are green for the Hong Kong eTrophy, and a brilliant getaway there from Hachai Cilia off the line. Leandro Zaccagnoli not with too much of an answer as they barrel up into turn number one. A lunge from the Albanian gets him up into the lead as it's airborne for Verstappen, and it looks like one of the Trackhouse cars. It's Eddie Hart as the cautions come out for the Brazilian. Verstappen is out of this race, and the Lolobos has to flip him over. It's good news for Envision Racing though, a team with a very slow start to the season. They got a podium last time out in Rome, but now the Albanian, Leandro Zaccagnoli, taking the race lead. And we do have some breaking news. This team is going to be rebranded to Hyperdrive Advanced Racing next time out. Mid-season rebranded to back under green. You don't really hear that too often. I think the last time that happened was in season 20 of Formula E. Pinnacle went bankrupt and replaced it by Trackhouse, and Team Trackhouse, they did quite well actually in the handful of seasons they were in Formula E. It'll be nice to see them again as the cautions come out for Star, and that looks like it's a power unit failure. Either that or they've wrecked in a straight line. Best man to look is Andre Nesbesny, and he's got front wing damage, so it could have been contact with the Moldovan in the number 7, the rookie driver, running up in third. In fact, it's a rookie 1-2-3, but of course a rookie error being made. Not much to be surprised at. Caution's about to end here in Hong Kong. They now fly through the final sector of the lap. I think the best part of this track is this quad apex corner that goes down the hill. You see something similar when we race in Istanbul Park, but now it's just completely redesigned. As into the wall goes Andre Nesbesny. Not the best move for he, and also off into the wall. Big slide for Sri Harishwar in the 16. Hopefully we keep it green for a bit longer, but no, Eddie Hart hits the wall as well, and he's at 7% car damage. It's like small chips made at these cars. Structural integrity is where we go on board with 16. Gets a little bit airborne. Nesbesny's dropped down to 5th due to that piece of contact. Also off the track there, slightly for Nesbesny, but look at the run that this man is having. Casanova Cornwell moving up the order as last time out race winner Tam Andalay up into 5th place. Takeyoshi Nishimoto with the lunge on Nesbesny. Gonna try and hold it side by side with a 7, but he can't. At least not for now, despite him having more grip. Doesn't seem like he's got a raw pace in comparison to the Moldovan who lets him go, it seems, knowing that he's gonna have to come in sooner rather than later. And Moses Lima, side by side there. In that number 2 car gets past, but there's yellows further back, and that's involving this man, the points leader Spiker, with front wing damage. Dropping down the order, hasn't had the best handful of races now, has the number 13. Must not be his lucky number as he now dives down to pit lane. Looks like Sri Harishwar also coming into the pits. As into the wall seems to have gone Nesbesny again. And oh, front puncture for Rainis Curlis. Rainis Curlis has now got a front puncture coming out of turn number 1. Oh! Hit by Cosmas, and out of the race he goes. Oh! Oh! Wow! Bastian Tan also out. It's a graveyard coming through the S's. Also a brilliant album cover if you need to use it, but I digress. Full course caution comes out. Renus Curlis going on an absolutely wild ride. Hopefully we don't see something similar. That's all caused by a simple piece of front wing damage, I believe, down at turn 1. And that cut down the Latvian driver's tyre. So it's going to be a non-finish for him. Back under the green flags here in Hong Kong. This ain't Texas, ain't no Holden. And things like that. Thankfully, we're outside of the concrete jungle. 38% tyre wear for Hachai Cilia. Now, trying to look for a pass on Zakaholi. No, she's going to stay out. The Albanian dives down to the pits in the number 1 car. What tyres going on for him? Well, it's the red-walled soft compound tyres. Also into the pits, Thomas Holtz, his teammate, flying out in front. Takeyoshi Nishimoto looking back with him as Moises Lima makes the lunge to move up into 3rd place. Good stuff from him. And it looks like both of the Goodhart cars are staying out on this lap. They're confident with these Hancocks. Casanova Cornwell, remember, his brother, Chris Cornwell, won his first race in a very similar E3 in Texas. But now, a track very similar to that in Texas, here in Hong Kong. He's got a lot to do to take the win. We're watching Tam Anderley on the back of Cosmas Pedicis. Her own teammate, rather. Try and get past. But it's quite a bit of car damage already suffered by that 3 car after coming into the pits. Ben Allen Lee passed by Nick Haymaker. Oh, front wing damage for Cosmas. I think we already pointed that out after his contact with Renus Curlis. Anderley gets past. I think right now this is the lap where you need to come in. Hopefully could make a double stop. But either way, one of these two is going to be leading this race for all of a handful of seconds. And oh, a caution! It's for Spiker! Spiker's out! Full course caution, the championship leader is out of the race. I've got no clue how that's happened. Into the pits for the race leaders, and I think Goodhart could take the chance. No, Cornwell staying out. Casanova Cornwell is staying out and will lead us onto lap 5. No, Cilia, Labarton, all maintain position. Landre Zakaholi's lost 3 places. At least for now, that'll become 2 until almost certainly clear Cornwell quite quickly. Looking back with the man in the number 5 car. There's not much fight left as they hold it side by side and moving up into 3rd place. Landre Zakaholi looking at everyone. There's only one man out there with 5-lap-old tyres, and it's the man that we ride on board with. 5 laps on mediums. Feasible, but you've got to do a lot of finagling there. With the hards, very doable. Soft compound tyres, doing that long, just not possible. Got a margin to Thomas Holtz, but it's not enough. He's at 3% heading down the longest straight on this track. It's the only piece of respite that it'll get before this breaking point. And at 1%, it's going to go quite quickly. Keep an eye on those tyres as he comes through. And there goes the rear for Casanova Cornwell. It's a full car puncture on lap 5. The second puncture of this race. Moises Lima coming up to try and pass him. Hopefully he does. And unlike the circumstances that caused Chris to win his first FG Series race, Moises getting past the number 5 plate quickly. 8 laps to go from Texas. Hachai Cilia leading this race from Gabriela Barton and Landre Zakaholi. Hopefully Cornwell can come in quite quickly. It's only Tam Anderley near. So, on the whole, that could have gone quite a lot worse from the number 5 as he now comes in and will get off of those soft compound tyres. Into the pits then for Eddie Hartz for his second stop. So maybe there's a strategy element at play down at Goodhart that we don't know. There could be something there. We've got yellows down in the opening sector. You won't be surprised to know that it is Andre Nesbesny who has hit the wall. That corner seemingly his kryptonite. That right there, his front wing. Left on corner exit. Hopefully no real problems come out of anything else as we look back with Zachar Hidenko. That really is just on the curb is the thing. No one really drives on the curb coming out of that corner, thankfully. But if anyone does, their tire's going to cut down at the very least. Heading down the main straight then, to half race distance. Here in Hong Kong, Hachai Cilia started on pole and is on course for a brilliant run of form. They've cleared up turn 1 then. Zakaholi on another set of soft compound tyres. I don't think that's the smartest move. Takeyoshi Nishimoto running a pretty good race up in 5th. And the field is actually spread apart quite some bit. It's not exactly something that you often see in the ERL, but due to the crashes we've had today, that could just be the result of that. Not the regular ERL race that you would expect, but it is what we get. Andre Nesbesny coming into the pits for his second stop. In fact, no one's actually out there with time penalties, that's new. Medium's going on for the Moldovan driver as he now comes out of the pits. And he's going to re-emerge in this race at the very back of the pack. While Bargton, well, not really showing pace greater than Hachai Cilia right now. On board with the number 15, coming through the final few corners, struggling for grip, fighting with that ERL 01, doesn't have attack mode heading down the main straight. That's what we're seeing as the main problem for the Red Bull driver. He's going to have to use some attack charge where Hachai isn't using it. Almost certainly she's using it through the S's. Yes, she is. Many drivers now coming into the pits. Nishimoto there stopped to allow Holtz to go through cleanly. Zakaholi moving up into 3rd place. We go on board with the Albanian coming through turn number 1. And, you know, what we've seen in earlier races with the ERL 01s around tracks like this, turn 1 was always unsightly. Yes, we've seen incidents down at turn 1 already today, but a lot less than we have before. And I think, oh, Cornwell's on off. What's happened to Cornwell? Oh, that's down at turn 1. Let's just talk about how the drivers have been keeping turn 1 a lot cleaner than usual, but now, well, Casanova's hit the wall and hit it quite badly. Front wing damage for the number 5. I guess that's what's known as the commentator's curse. Hopefully I don't have to get too used to that. Million Brulers on 3-lap old soft compound tyres. We've seen that 4 laps really is the upper limit of these Hankook softs. You see these drivers getting a little bit of airtime coming through the hairpins. 5 laps to go, and the Bargton certainly losing some time out in front. Moses Lima wide aways ahead of Tam Anderley now. Thomas Holtz on a bit of an island to his own. And yeah, you can see just on the mini-map, I don't even have to spell it out to you as Zakaholi sets a new fastest lap in what is now officially Envision Racing's final race in the FG Series, for now at the very least. Yeah, I think we are going to see this field stay as far apart as it is right now until the very end of the race, as we're on board with Sri Harishwar. Holds it side by side with Brulez and gets past Zachar Hidenko as well. If he can hold it to the outside. Are they going too wide? They are. That's some robust stuff from the man who won in London earlier this season. We go on board with the Indian driver. Keeps it safe, plays it safe, and this is just textbook driving from the entire field. They are playing it safe, keeping it safe, not really trying to run in or trip over each other. We could see some pit stops out from the leaders, though. My question is, will one of them come in before the other, or will one of them come in after the other? Really, an offset strategy is what could spice up this race today, but no. This is going to be a race down at pit lane. Bargton versus Cilia. I don't think Ahmed Cilia's won a race in the ERL, so this is going to be some family bragging rights then with 4 laps to go. Leandre Zakaholi takes the race lead on lap 10. And Barton couldn't get the pit stop he needed to get in front. It's a 1-2 for Envision Racing as Moises Lima flies past Hachai Cilia. And the gap stays at about a second still. Takayoshi Nishimoto in 6th place in the number 6 car. With the new fastest lap, I'm sure that had a 6 in it somewhere. 22. Hachai Cilia still in front of Gabriela Barton. That's the net race lead, of course. But still, everyone's got another stop to make. I don't see anyone making it to the end of the race with the tyres that they've got now. We're probably going to need some fresh hard compound tyres to get to the end. As LeBarton versus Cilia versus Lima heading down into this hard braking point. That's some feisty racing, robust offense there from Hachai to take 2nd place. Really just a textbook move, just flying down the inside. If it's open, you're just going to have more traction with the new tyres. And I think LeBarton having a lot of a harder time to try and get past the Envision driver in front of him. Cilia's going to take the lead here as Sakaholi has come down into pit lane. This is going to be one of, if not the single best race in Team Impulse existence. Got close to the wall there though. Half a second, that's the margin though between Hachai and Gabriel. The Red Bull drive. Oh, we've got a caution. It's for Eddie Hart, who has crashed on his own, it seems. He is just wrecked on his own in the track house number 19, I believe. No, it's the number 20. Andale's in the 19. And for the Scotsman, not a good day in the office. For Trackhouse Racing as a whole, not a good weekend in the office, and they haven't really had too much good happen to them since Manila last season. And as we go back green again, that helps Cilia, because now LeBarton doesn't get attack mode going down the straight. So she just blasts off using some attack charge and gets herself out of attack mode striking range. LeBarton just doesn't use any attack charge. He's not going after the race win, he's just trying to bring it home at this stage, it seems. Maybe leaving it all for the final lap? I don't know. It's Carlos Masparistas at the very back of the pack, getting a 5 second time penalty, being very clumsy with Silky there in the number 11. Looks like there could be a little bit of a fight developing further up between Cornwell and Haymaker. Otherwise, everyone keeping it clean, aside from the leaders. Attack mode online for LeBarton, heading down into turn number 1. We saw this go poorly on lap 1. And for LeBarton, he keeps it clean into the race lead for the Philippine number 15. On board we go with the number 22. This is something that Hachai hasn't really had to do all day long, and that is attack the man in front of her. Because there hasn't really been anyone in front of her all day long, so now just trying to stay in attack mode striking range. Does she have it? She doesn't have it for the third to last lap of this race. Nishimoto's flying in 4th place, trying to get Good Heart Racing a podium here in Hong Kong. Ben Allen Lee with the fastest third sector of anyone for 2311 Racing, flying through turn number 1 there, as is a lot of drivers in the field. The 12 of Million Brulers coming down into pit lane. The only way that this race could go poorly for the leaders is if they try and get to the end of the race with their tyres. Because we've seen already from Cornwell, who's up in 9th, despite having a full car puncture. Yet, 4 laps isn't really going to cut it, mate. You're not going to make it. We're on to the penultimate lap, though, and Barton's staying out, Cilia's staying out. This could mean bad news for your race leaders. 45% for the 22, 36% for the 15. Takayoshi Nishimoto still the fastest man out on track, 118 lap time that time round. The 6 looking for a podium if he can get past Landre Zakahole. Sorry, they both have Zach in the pronunciation. It's it's a me thing. Juan Villalobos with a fastest second sector for the man who won in Amsterdam last season. Casanova Cornwell in the 5 car, stuck up behind Nick Haymaker, hopefully able to get past them, coming down into turn number 1. Why do I say coming down? I don't know. We're going uphill. It's a 33-foot rise. And at 19%, these tires are gonna pop. Cornwell's already had his tires blow up once today, as there goes Sri Harishwar going past Casanova rather. That's for 10th place, looking for 9th now. Darting to the outside and moving up into 9th place. Simple move, of course, but Haymaker still fighting back. Looking back with the 8. Simple and effective use of the hairpin as the leaders go on to their final laps. I'm shocked that they haven't lapped anyone yet. Cornwell's at 9% heading down the straight, so that is going to mean quite a lot for Lebargton, but Lebargton still showing a lot of pace in the 15. 2.4 seconds in front of Hatchai Cilia, and in fact with the fastest first sector, losing some words there. Cornwell drops down to 13th, struggling for pace with some very old soft compound tires at 3%. Oh, close to the wall for Ben Allen Lee. Really on the edge of what's possible with their tires right now. Lebargton flying down the long straight at 7%. Doesn't have any attack charge, already burned it all. Doesn't need any of it though, just needs to make it to the end of this race. And at 5%, it seems simple. The Red Bull Racing driver came into this race having been shown up by his teammate in London. He'll show up the entire grid then, coming through the final corner. It's going to be Gabriel Lebargton defying his tires and coming to the line with victory in Hong Kong. Brilliant stuff from that team. Meanwhile, the tires have gone for Casanova. And for Haymaker, he's at 1%, heading down into the hairpin, gets passed by Zakhar Hidenko, tries to hold off Silky, but he's hit 0. Moises Lime with the fastest lap. And there's the tires blowing up for the American driver. Oh dear. Gets passed by Nesbesny. And he just needs to be avoided by Cosmas and Brulers. As we've already seen a crash caused by a puncture today. And hopefully we don't see another. Brulers coming up and coming past. Thank God. Oh, puncture for Nesbesny coming to the line. Well, Lebargton sure was lucky there. Hit 0. And his tires didn't blow up before crossing the line. That is some ingenious tire work there. Not the most chaotic of FG Series races, must say. We've seen some absolute carnage races before. So we'll just leave you with Casanova as he now makes his way through the final two corners. So this is your podium after round 4 in the FG Series. Gabriel Lebargton for Red Bull Racing taking the team's second win of the season. I believe taking it to the top of the championship. We'll see official confirmation of that after the podium ceremony. Of course, Hatchai Cilia in her third start in the ERL with a second place. Definitely moving up in the world. And Leandro Sakaholi, second consecutive podium for the Envision Racing driver. As for the rest of your finishers, Takeyoshi Nishimoto came across the line, Ian Falk, Moises Lima, and Thomas Holtz took the fastest lap. Then it's Chaos Anderley, Sister Tam Anderley, Sri Harishwar, and Ben Allen Lee with point scorers. Outside of the points, we've got Hidenko from Villalobos and Silky, there's Besny from Brulas and Mercedes, then it's Haymaker, Cornwell being the last of the finishers. a minute behind the race leader. I thought Hart finished, but no. Eddie Hart, the first of your retirements from Spiker, Vasquez Tan, the two junior motorsport drivers, and Gab Stappen. There's a change up top then, 52 points for Gabriel Barton, looking for his first ERL crown. Hachai Cilia second from Spiker and Nick Haymaker. Sri Harshwar fifth from Landro Sakaholi, and Tam Andalay outperforming her teammate. I'm sorry, not just her teammate, but I was trying to go after her sibling. To continue, Thomas Holtz, 8th from Zakhar Hedenko at start. Then it's a tie for 11th between Nishimoto and Villalobos. Lima is 13th from a three-way tie for 15th between Gab Stappen, Cornwell, and Chaos Andalay, who is 17th from Andre Nesbesny and Wayne Curlis. Then it's Brulas, Alan Lee, and the non-scorers, there's three of them, Eddie Hart, Silky, and Cosmas Mercedes. In the Constructors, after quite possibly the longest race on the calendar so far, Red Bull Racing lead the way from Team Impel and Envision Racing with tied on points with Chip Ganassi Racing, that is 23-11, Kondo Racing, Power Motorsport, Junior Motorsports, Goodhart Racing tied on points with Matter, then Trackhouse and Revolution Racing. Not the most entertaining race for the second half. It really was popping off during the first though. Gabriel Barton taking his first race win since his time in the IndyCar Series. We're likely to see a lot more from the Filipino driver as he looks for a first title in the Electric Racing League. A lot more titles to be won, of course, as the ERL looks to the North American Series. The Champ Car World Series is up next here on Spark Plug Motorsport.